In 2022, the Supreme Court dropped a nuclear bomb on gun control, and some people still don't realize how big it was. The Bruen decision is the reason you can now legally carry a firearm in all 50 states. But it didn't stop there. Bruen could be the key to striking down magazine bans, suppressor bans, the so-called sensitive places, and all these other anti-Second Amendment restrictions across the country. Stick around to the end and I'll tell you how Bruen could end these unconstitutional laws in New Jersey once and for all. But before we get into it, hit that like and subscribe button, comment down below. Let me know what the next thing you think Bruen could take down. Is it going to be the magazine bans? Is it going to be the sensitive places? Is it going to be anything? Is Bruen going to take some other things down in New Jersey, some other restrictive laws down in New Jersey? Let me know what you think. Comment down below. All right, guys, so what actually was the Bruen case? So it's actually called the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruen. Well, who is Bruen? It was a Supreme Court case decided on June 23rd, 2022. This case challenged New York's May issue a concealed carry permit, which meant you had to have some sort of justifiable need to carry a firearm, exactly like we had in New Jersey. But of course, our justifiable need is that we need to protect ourselves. So there's two guys, Robert Nash and Brandon Koch. They applied for concealed carry permits for self-defense and they were denied. The lawsuit was filed by the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association against Kevin P. Bruen, who was the superintendent of New York State Police at the time. He was the state official that was enforcing these unconstitutional laws. Comment down below, did you know who Bruen actually was? Or were you like me and was just like, oh, well, I don't care who he was as long as I get to carry a gun now. But like I said, I make these videos because I want to learn something and I'm asking questions. So I want to let you guys know what I'm learning in case you're just like me and, hey, you were happy you got to carry a gun. And then you said to yourself, hey, what actually was the Bruen case and what did it actually mean and what could it mean for the future of New Jersey and for the country? So what did the Supreme Court actually decide? Well, Justice Clarence Thomas said the Second and 14th Amendments protect an individual's right to carry a handgun for self-defense outside the home. That means that states can't force you to provide a justifiable need to carry your firearm. Your right to bear arms extends beyond your home wherever you go. Then Thomas laid down the new standard that changed everything. He said, when the Second Amendment's plain text covers an individual's conduct, the Constitution presumptively protects that conduct. The government must then justify its regulation by showing it is consistent with the nation's historical tradition of firearm regulation. Comment down below, do you think our founding fathers would have accepted today's gun laws? Of course not. But let me know what you think. So in plain text, it means that no modern gun law is valid unless there was a similar one back in the 1700s or 1800s. The government can't just make up restrictions because they want more public safety. That's why this decision was the biggest decision for gun rights in a long, long time. Have you ever heard politicians talk about common sense gun laws? Well, this decision says that history decides, not the emotions of the politicians. So before Bruen, New Jersey was also one of the hardest states to get a concealed carry permit in. It was a may issue state, just like New York. But after Bruen, it forced it to be a shall issue state. Our New Jersey government had no choice but to let us carry firearms. But of course, New Jersey didn't like that very much. The politicians immediately passed the Sensitive Places Law, A4769, banning carry in most public places. Federal judges using Bruen as precedent have already started striking those sensitive place laws down. The state may regulate consistent with Bruen, but cannot simply designate most of the state as off limits to lawful carry. This was from Coons versus Platkin from the U.S. District Court in 2023. Now the bigger picture. All the other restrictions we have in New Jersey, the magazine bans, sensitive places, the ammo restrictions, the suppressor bans, all that stuff also has no historical precedent. There's no historical tradition of limiting how many rounds you can have in a firearm. Bruen explicitly said the government can't just declare all public spaces off limits. Assault weapons bans also fail Bruen's historical test. And any ammo restrictions that tell us we can only use specific ammo in New Jersey also fail the historical test. So what's the first unconstitutional law you want to see fall in New Jersey? Let me know. Comment down below. I'm hoping next is the magazine bans, but we'll have to see. So guys, as we know, Bruen didn't grant us new rights. It reminded our government of the existing ones that we were given by God. Every time the state tries to chip away at our rights, Bruen gives courts the power to say no. That's not in line with the history. Now groups like the FPC, the Firearms Policy Coalition, and the SAF, the Second Amendment Foundation, are using Bruen to make lawsuits that are just going after all our unconstitutional laws in New Jersey. one by one, they're just filing lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit, and thank God for them. The Bruen decision is proof that freedom still has a voice, but it's up to us to use it. Your right to defend your life doesn't come from the government, it comes from God himself. The Constitution just recognizes that right. So guys, I thank you all for watching. I hope you learned something today. I know I did. Keep learning, keep training. Have a great rest of your night, guys. God bless you all.